Happy Friday, everybody. Nick Slavic here, proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company, also the host of Ask a Painter Live, weekly live Facebook show, where I use my over 2 decades as an entrepreneur, lover of coding science to answer any of your questions. Now, for homeowners, this is a place you can answer, or you can ask any question you've ever wanted to ask a big group of professional painters. For pros, you can talk anything you want: marketing, apprenticeship, coding science, processes, accounting, whatever. So today we are here in Portland, and I'm here with Dustin Zupancic, one of my favorite people in the industry, owner of Dreamscape Painting, and he's from Vancouver. Short drive for him.
Not too bad, not too bad.
And Brian Cumming, one of the head honchos at Benjamin Moore. What's your official title? I don't know.
Marketing manager.
Marketing manager. So we got a big shot from Benjamin Moore here. We got Dustin Zupancic. If you don't follow Dreamscape Painting, follow Dreamscape Painting. He does some of the most amazing paint jobs you've ever seen. We are here at the PDCA Craftsmanship Forum, the Painting and Decorating Contractors of America. They have a whole bunch of formal get-togethers during the year. It all culminates in the National Expo, which we'll get to in a little bit, but they have the Commercial Forum for commercial painters, they have the Residential Forum for residential painters, and this is the Craftsmanship Forum, where this got started over 20 years ago by Mario Gurton, and it's basically for all the people who are nerds about coding science and processes and all that other stuff. So we're basically going to give you a recap of what we've been doing the last couple days. We're at the home stretch here tonight. We're having an awesome dinner sponsored by this guy.
That's right.
And his beloved Benjamin Moore company. I should mention there is early registration going on for the PDCA National Expo. You can save $100 on your registration if you register by October 31st. We've talked to a lot of people here. You'll probably be there too, right?
Yep.
You'll be there for sure. Absolutely.
That's
so
right.
again, a lot's changed in my life since coming into contact with the PDCA. Awesome contractors like Dustin. We've been talking for a year or two now, and all the perspective that these people give me has really changed how I think about myself, my business, and everything else. And the National Expo is the largest gathering of those people there. So if you're interested, PDCA, go to their website. You can get a hold of Chris Shank, Christine Turner, Steve Skodak, any of those people, and they will direct you to the membership stuff there. So early registration going on. Save $100 off your registration if you do it by October 31st. So hopefully we'll see all you guys there. I will be presenting one of my brand new master's classes on solving the labor crisis, and one I actually gave today to this group of people about apprenticeship and how we've structured our company. So that'll be a good one. I can't wait to hear what other contractors think about it. So okay, let's talk about the Craftsmanship Forum. So this is a 2-day event. There's education sessions, there's tours, everything's tied in with Portland. This time there's a local contractor, Joel, who has actually set up some of his projects for us to walk through. And we've seen some of the work that he's done, some of the restorations, and yeah, so it's been pretty cool. So yesterday, first day, we had a few education sessions in the morning, and then the first big tour was...
that's a good question. We saw a lot of places. Yeah, Purdy, the Purdy Brush Factory.
Purdy was awesome. So the Purdy Brush Factory. Sorry, we got light rail coming by here. The Purdy Brush Factory. So basically, if you've ever used a Purdy brush, we met all the people who hand make them here in Portland, which is really, really cool. So
cool.
What do you think of the Purdy?
I was banned from the Purdy.
Oh, that's dude! Oh, point of contention. That's right. You were sequestered out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So Sherwin owns Purdy.
Yeah, the bus was really nice while I waited.
The bus was nice. No, they made you wait on the bus. Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll get them back. Wait till
awesome,
it's in New York. Wait till it's in New York.
Oh, maybe somebody won't get a dinner plate tonight.
Exactly. That's right. Too short.
So that was what was interesting to you about the Purdy tour?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. You know, because we use these tools every day, and you kind of just, I don't know, picture robots doing all these fancy things and whatever, but to see the amount of people actually working on the brushes themselves and like putting them together by hand, and all that care and their like attention to detail and the, like much more rigorous quality control standards than I expected. You know, I tried to buy seconds, but didn't fly. They don't release those.
There, we saw the big roller bins with maybe a roller cover that didn't meet it, or a brush that had a little awkward bristle.
I was
like,
that for my house.
Man, we could have rolled that right out to the ding.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not that bad. Like, I would take, So it was really cool. We actually met a lady who's been working there for over 30 years, and she is the master. She can make about 80 brushes by hand in an hour. So there is automation. It's super impressive automation. There's even one part where a conveyor belt goes under clear plexiglass under under where you walk and back up again and brings brushes up again. But to meet the people, you know, you get all the yellow stickers with people's names on them. We met those people, which is really cool, and they have a lot of longevity. I mean, I think the average time in grade for those people was over 10 years at that factory, which is insane. So really awesome. Also, I asked the head of that factory what was the most popular brush, and it's a 2.5 Purdy XL, the brown wrapper one, 2.5 straight cut glide. Was it a Alaska or a glide with the long straight handle? So I was just curious to see who used what and what was the most what was the most used brush. And they also had a huge display of historic stuff too, so old rollers, brushes, things like that. It was really cool. So okay, anything else about Purdy? Where'd we go after Purdy?
That was, I'm getting all mixed up. We saw a lot of,
I know,
yeah,
really we've been on a lot of, but we saw Window Factory.
We saw Window Factory.
Recycling.
Paint recycling,
yeah,
yes, paint recycling. So we went to a paint recycling facility where they take in a whole bunch of water-based paint that people get rid of, and they open up all the cans, see what's salvageable, block it by color, and then they recycle it. They tint it to a bunch of pre-made colors, and they resell it, which is really cool. And we're all paying for it. And oh, perfect. Sorry about that. So, which is really cool because there's a whole bunch of states that do this. Minnesota, where I'm from, is one of those. Oregon is another state that subscribes to Paint Care, where every gallon you buy, you're taxed 75 cents or $1, and then in turn, you can just turn in all your paint for free, even as a contractor. So that's really cool to see that, and we got to see the room where they sequester these dudes in there, and there's paint everywhere. They're opening cans and tossing stuff around, and it's really awesome. And then probably the highlight of yesterday was the Window Factory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Purdy was awesome, but the Window Factory was really cool. They're making solid wood windows, you know, the double hungs with all the sashes and all this other stuff there, and it's just an amazing place. That, and they had a full spread with us, and we could walk through a factory and watch people make windows while drinking beer.
Wow.
Which was awesome. So yeah, that was good, man.
Hopefully their employees.
Anything surprised? Yeah, anything surprised you about the Window Factory?
You know, I don't know. But it was really cool just to see the amount of care again that they, and the pride they took in their products, you know, and how much just the quality of life and for their employees and the working environment. It was pretty inspiring.
I agree, and I get a little jaded in Minnesota because, you know, we don't have, you know, we come from Anderson and Marvin country. Those windows are fine, but they're not handmade mahogany or quarter sawn white oak windows. So you get the feeling like, oh, nobody makes anything good anymore. It's like, oh, they're making that here.
Wait,
like
they're using all these old antique machinery. Some of their
so awesome.
Yeah,
and they are just like like we always say, oh man, I got to restore a 100-year-old window. These are going to be those windows 100 years from now. So
it defines the craftsmanship. That's why we're here.
Solid brass pulleys on the sash cords and ball bearings. It's just beautiful. So then we had some dinner. We had some dinner after that. That was a nice. We went to a local brewery. I think one of the oldest, probably the oldest craft brewery in Portland. I think I saw a sign there, and that was good. And then again, that's where a lot of the value comes. We sit around and we just talk about whatever we want to, which is interesting.
Challenges and what we can do better. And what I like is like it's not about competition. It's about what can we learn.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the best part about these PDCA. It's not, well, what do you do? What do I, you know? It's how can you teach me to be better?
Yeah, you're not trying to steal anything because people readily help you.
It's just, yeah,
it's great.
And it's different states, it's different markets, it's different country, different markets completely. So you really get the gist of like, what am I doing on the West Coast versus the middle of the country, Northeast. You know, I met a guy from Brooklyn, and then I met a guy from Missouri, and the three of us are talking, and it's like staggering on the difference of their angle versus their angle.
And what's cool is that you get a whole bunch of these data points of your personality has created a certain type of business for a certain type of customer. Same thing with me, and it's very interesting to get all those data points of who is this person, what did they create, why did they create it, and everybody sort of magically makes their own little unique fiefdom, you know, and it's really cool to see like what works for you, what works for them, because I know that we meet a lot of people here whose the way they run their businesses are just like, none of that interests me. I have no interest in what they do, how they run it, but it's impressive. Like there's something to take away. But then there's also some people you meet who's like, I now have a model for the next 2 years. Like that is the way to do it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Okay, today we had some more education sessions. Yesterday I gave my master's class on new construction processes, which I couldn't have felt more self-conscious sitting next to this guy, the master of new construction.
It was awesome. It was really great.
It was really great.
And today we had some more. My favorite today was Eddie Gonzalez. Eddie Gonzalez is the best. If for anybody who doesn't follow Eddie Gonzalez, he is a master wood finisher, and he's doing it in Southern California with the crazy restrictions, and he's got the full spray booth. He's got everything, and he is a master. And he went up there and showed us all the ins and outs of shading, color matching, how he runs his operation, really cool. And it was, I could listen to him. I would come here to just hear him all day. So
very interesting stuff.
So we had a bunch of open discussions too about guys just sharing wins and losses and failures and things like that. That was all. It's always interesting to hear people's, what they're excited about. What else do we do today?
It's all a blur. I'm going to be
long
processing it for a little while.
Church tour, historic church tour that got converted into like a music venue. Yeah. And then now there's a couple meetings going on right now. And then it's dinner time.
That's right.
So it was good, man. Was there anything that surprised you? Was there anything that, oh my God, I have something to take back? Or
the biggest surprise is how many painters do things differently for the same task.
Yeah.
Like, I'm painting cabinets. There's 73 different methods between 20 contractors, and
especially with this group.
So like there's
with this group.
I can't take away and be like, hey, they recommended this for primer and this for top coat. It's like 17 coats of lacquer or something.
Yeah.
One guy does, and this guy does pigment. Like it was staggering on every project.
Every time you think you have something figured out, you hear about a guy who paints his cabinets, and 3 of the 10 processes are clear sanding sealer.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
How does that work? And it's
tell me more.
people have so many fantastic ways of doing stuff. It's just so interesting to get all that. So how about for you? Was there anything,
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Eddie's talk today. I love wood finishing. It's really, I love hearing how he's, finding solutions with all the restrictions in California. That was pretty cool. Instead of, it's nice, no one's wrong as far as with so many ways to finish things like cabinets and wood. It's just inspiring, and you get lots of ideas, and it kind of shakes you out of what you're used to. So I think that for me is just to come away inspired is great.
And I think, for me, the data, you get data points when you come here.
Right.
You and Sherwin, you guys always do a good job of sharing whatever knowledge and data and perspective you can share with us. And then just talking to other contractors, some guy's running a business the size of mine, but he's got a partner. How's that work?
Right.
And where are you doing and what are you doing it? And sometimes the most beneficial things of one of these groups is just being in another room and verbally hearing another contractor say, yes, I am experiencing that too, and that is a thing in my business, and you're like, oh, okay, good, I'm not alone now.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing.
The millennial thing that you talked about was huge. For me, I was talking to an older gentleman, and I'm like, you have millennials working for you? He said, yeah, mostly millennials. And I said, utilize them with things outside your business. And he's like, wow. It's like, that was powerful. And I'm like, they are on social media every day.
Yep.
There could be a YouTube blogger that your guy does YouTube videos every single night that he could make you a YouTube video about your business weekly, and you never thought to ask him that. So utilize their strengths. Not about, I can cut in a door, I can paint a wall, paint trim. That's all great. But what else can they do for your business? Because the involvement in their business makes them want to work more and harder for you.
Yeah, they almost have that ownership mentality if they're doing something good.
Almost like you're valuable.
And especially in an industry where a lot of the ownership is of an older generation, and they're maybe not as apt to be on Instagram and start posting stuff like that, and all your people do it, and they would probably love to take a half an hour out of their day and be that part of the business, and they would do it way better than us,
way better.
So
absolutely.
So that's interesting. So any last words before we kick her off? I know they're going to close this cafe, and they're probably giving us evil looks right now. So
most likely.
So other than that, that's about it.
Check it out next time.
Awesome, man. All right, remember, early registration, PDCA National Convention. It's early March. It's in Savannah, Georgia. We're going to be there. I'll be presenting. It's going to be an awesome time there. So save $100 if you register early. Otherwise, thank you everybody for tuning in. I've posted tons of pictures, tons of videos over the last couple of days. If you guys have any questions about the Craftsmanship Forum, Residential Forum, Commercial Forum, National Expo, PDCA, whatever, get a hold of me. I'll get you in contact with whoever needs to. So thanks again. Have a good Friday. We're going to enjoy Portland.